It is total devastation. Category 5 Hurricane Irma destroys 90% of tiny island of Barbuda as 185 miles per hour winds kill 4 across the Caribbean and dump torrential rain on U.S. territories. Hurricane Irma has destroyed 90% of the tiny island of Barbuda after 185 miles per hour winds battered the Caribbean on Wednesday, killing at least 4 people. The deadly Category 5 storm, the strongest hurricane ever recorded in the Atlantic, made its first landfall early Wednesday morning, pummeling Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands and sparking a major humanitarian crisis. Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister Gaston Browne said the hurricane had completely destroyed about 90% of the island's homes and vehicles. The entire housing stock was damaged. Some have lost whole roofs. Some properties have been totally demolished, Browne said in an interview with ABS TV radio in Antigua. It is just a total devastation. Barbuda is literally rubble, he added, saying the island that is home to a population of 1,800 was barely habitable. We have estimated the rebuilding efforts to be no less than $150 million. That is conservative, because we're talking about rebuilding everything, all of the institutions, the infrastructure, the telecommunications, the roads. Even the hotels on the island, those are totally demolished, as well. It is terrible. Aerial footage of the island after Irma passed through showed a desolate, flooded landscape shorn of trees and foliage with overturned vehicles and scattered debris. An infant was killed in Barbuda while trying to escape a damaged building with its mother. 2 were killed when the hurricane struck St. Bart's and St. Martin, while another death was reported in Anguilla. In other parts of the Caribbean, buildings have also been destroyed, roads flooded, and people left trapped after the monster storm, which is estimated to be the size of France. Heavy rain and howling winds from the hurricane raked the islands of Antigua, Barbuda, St. Bart's, and St. Martin, sending debris flying as people huddled in their homes or public shelters. French officials said St. Bart's and St. Martin, about 40% of which is Dutch territory, have been battered extremely violently with even sturdy government buildings destroyed. Emergency food and water rations are being sent to the islands. By early Wednesday afternoon, the center of the storm was 20 miles east-southeast of St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands and 90 miles east of San Juan, Puerto Rico, and heading west-northwest at 16 miles per hour. NOAA Hurricane Hunters Flight Director Richard Henning told CNN Wednesday night that Irma is getting stronger. He said hurricane aircrafts were measuring winds over 189 miles per hour at the eye of the storm. You really can't overhype this storm. We haven't really seen a storm like Irma. The U.S. National Weather Service said Puerto Rico had not seen a hurricane of Irma's magnitude since Hurricane San Felipe in 1928, which killed a total of 2,748 people in Guadeloupe, Puerto Rico, and Florida. The dangerousness of this event is like nothing we've ever seen, Puerto Rico Governor Ricardo Rossello said. A lot of infrastructure won't be able to withstand this kind of force. Puerto Rico's public power company has cut back on staff and maintenance amid a deep economic crisis, and the agency's director warned that some areas could be without power from 4 to 6 months because the infrastructure has already deteriorated so badly. Power outages were reported in some neighborhoods well ahead of the storm. The federal government has stepped in, with President Donald Trump this week approving an emergency declaration for the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. That means that the Federal Emergency Management Agency and other agencies can remove debris and give other services that will largely be paid for by the U.S. government. State maintenance worker Juan Tesada said he was without power for 3 months after Hurricane Hugo killed dozens of people in Puerto Rico in 1989. "I expect the same from this storm," he said. "It's going to be bad." Trump declared emergencies in Florida, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands, and authorities in the Bahamas said they would evacuate the residents of 6 islands at the southern end of the island chain. A mandatory evacuation is underway in the Florida Keys, and is expected to expand as the storm gets nearer. The president said the hurricane looks like something that could be not good.